Mike, I wanted to get you on. Obviously, the Edmonton Oilers. There's talk about them bringing Mike Babcock back, and I know that it's, like you've never been shy, and I always appreciate that. A lot of people sometimes aren't willing to speak out, because I found it interesting how just in society a lot of times people start saying, "Well, Commodore was soft about it," and I'm just like, "What?" Right? And now, like, I've found out so many other stories from different people that I don't discount that he's a good tactician. I don't argue that from anybody.
I've said that.
It's more like the communication factor. And as somebody who was kind of on the receiving end of it, does it frustrate you that he's going to get another chance now, or are you like, whatever, it doesn't impact my life?
Well, first off, I would say whatever, it doesn't impact my life. But because of what happened over the last 10 years, I can't get away with this. Yeah. I mean, anytime my phone blows up, and it doesn't very often, it usually isn't a great thing. And, I had a great week planned here, Jason. I think I'm going to Game 5. Nice. I'm going to meet some of my boys from Fort Saskatchewan. We're going to go play Gamble Sands later this week in Washington. So I was all ready for a nice week. And then the Edmonton Oilers dropped this on me, which was a little bit of a downer on my Monday morning. But, I would say, at the end of the day, it's, I'm obviously not a fan of the guy. I think he's a scumbag. I think he's a bad person. I know I've ended up being like the figurehead for it or whatever, kind of out against Babs, and the Leafs fans kind of were after me, and then they kind of saw the light once they canned him. And that's kind of happening again. Now, I haven't really said anything yet, because I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to go down this road again. But I would say it's disappointing that guys like this are still getting opportunities. And I guess I'm sitting here. Look, I don't live in Edmonton. I pay attention to the Oilers. Don't get me wrong. I'm Flames alumni, but I pay attention to everything a little bit. I'm just sitting. I'm like, how did the Oilers get here? Is my first question. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think, and this isn't an Oilers thing, but in my opinion, how the coaches, like what's going on with coaches these days is kind of crazy. It basically seems, other than your odd exception, it's like 2 years, 3 years. And if it doesn't work, you're gonzo, which I think is crazy. So from the outside looking in, I thought Knobloch having to move on was a little bit crazy. I mean, he's been there, 3 years, two cup finals. Things didn't go great this year, but you're not going to make the finals every year. Like, was that his fault? I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. I would guess probably not entirely. And then it seems, now correct me if I'm wrong, Jason, you're right in it, but then it seemed that thing with Cassidy got leaked. They wanted to talk to Cassidy, said no, that got leaked. Now they got to can Knobloch, who just signed a 3-year extension. And if they were going to do that and they want to talk to Cassidy, I'm assuming they would be allowed to talk to Cassidy at the end of the season. Is that correct?
Well, we don't know that. Because Vegas said their response to why they didn't grant him permission was, well, we're focused on the playoffs, which I find very funny because he's not even part of the team. But so that was their out to say the playoffs. So a lot of people wonder, well, maybe when the playoffs is over, they'll do it, but there's no guarantee they will.
There's no guarantee. Yeah. Okay. I was just wondering, because to me, I mean, it seems kind of crazy that they wouldn't. I mean, they canned the guy for a reason. Like, they didn't think it wasn't working. They didn't think it was working in Vegas. So I'm not sure why you would care if you went somewhere else at the end of the season. Maybe they didn't want that to be a distraction to the players during the playoffs. But to me, it's just, I mean, Stan Bowman and company got around in the last week, and Babs is the answer. And you're doing it now. Like, why wouldn't you wait to see if you have the opportunity? If you wanted to talk to Cassidy, like, what's the harm in waiting another week? And then go from there? I don't really understand that. But at the end of the day, I mean, and I think you said it, Jason, I think I saw a clip of it. I mean, it's a sign of desperation. It's a desperate GM. And in a way, it's a desperate organization. I think we can all agree that Connor McDavid is, for the last, what has he been there, 10, 12 years now?
Yep.
A decade at least, right?
Yeah, 11.
10, 12 years. I think we can all pretty much agree that he's the Gretzky of his era. He's been in Edmonton the entire time. Now, the Oilers have been successful. Nobody's going to sit there and argue that. He's been incredibly successful. He's won every trophy multiple times, except for the one that he really wants. And it hasn't been able to deliver on a Stanley Cup. He kind of put the organization on a little bit of a timer, so to speak, signing a little 2-year extension. And so it's panic time. And for whatever reason, Stan Bowman thinks Mike Babcock is the answer, which, I mean, The guy hasn't coached a game since what, 2020, 2019?
Mm-hmm.
He's been getting paid the whole time. The guy hasn't missed very many paychecks. I get, okay, he won a cup in 08. He's won a couple gold. He does have a resume, there's no question. But there's been a lot go on since then. And I will say, from my point of view, it's a little bit frustrating. I've read some things online. Like, I haven't commented, but, if this does end up going through, I mean, the guy's a documented bully. He's a documented predator. All you got to do is type his name in. And if this goes through, I mean, to me, it's like, I don't want to hear another word. I mean, we just went from the NHL, the NHLPA, or the Edmonton Oilers. I don't want to hear another word about how mental health is important to us. I really don't, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, dude, this guy gets off on. I mean, he's got the psychology degree from McGill. I mean, he gets off on warfare on his players. Now, I also see the other aspect of like, well, this must have been okayed by Connor and Leon and whoever else. Sure, I'm assuming probably has. But at the same time, and I think this is kind of a black mark, in my opinion, against those guys, your Connors and Leons, if they did sign off on this. It's not the Connors and the Leons that have to worry about Mike Babcock.
Yes.
Mike Babcock's done some dumb things, but Mike Babcock's not an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Connor and Leon are going to get treated like gold. It's the third and fourth liners. It's the 5 to 7 defensemen. It's the rookies. It's the arena staff. It's the equipment staff. It's the front office. It's people like that are going to be abused. And then I heard Stauffer on his thing say, well, he's in a different place now and he's changed. I'm like, oh, he's changed.
Yeah.
Really?
How does anybody
we
know?
tried this once before with Columbus, and he said this exact, I've changed, this and that. I've changed. I'm a new person. I realized, blah, blah, blah. He got hired July 1st, and he's got to be, unless there's a coach that passed away right after he got hired, he's got to be the only coach in NHL history to get canned before training camp starts, because he couldn't stop going through players' phones. And the Adam Fantilli one was the one. I don't know if people have heard about that, but that was the kind of one that the straw that broke the camel's back, so to speak. Going after a rookie, you got power on him. You got power on those kinds of people. He has no power over Connor and Leon. That's a whole nother animal. So anyways, it's to say I'm disappointed is probably putting it a little mildly.